Hi, you guys. How is everyone? Happy Thursday. I hope that your day has been fantastic. I am Laura Godwin. I am going to share with you tonight 10 truths that I have learned along the way that I wish I would have known whenever I was trying to get to director. Sorry, my laptop is being ugly to me. So I hope that you guys are feeling pretty inspired by the amazing September that we have ahead of us with all of these brand new products. I just feel like that it's such a magical time right now in Cincy. I'm super excited to be part of all the fun, and I'm excited to watch the numbers grow. Like, I've been seeing my numbers change, and it's an exciting time, right? Every fall is. But I'm super passionate about 10 things that I want to chat with you about tonight. Once again, thanks so much for the opportunity to come and get to chat with you guys. I mean, it's so fun that we get the chance to connect with people in this business that inspire us, and you guys inspire me. I love learning from so many different personalities and styles, and it's just so cool that there's not one perfect way to do Cincy, right? It's so fun that we can share different ideas and be completely different as night and day and still make flippin' awesome paychecks. And I love that, because I'm serious, I would not fit into a mold very well. So I'm so glad that we can be independent business owners and rock in our own quirky ways, right? Well, your ways probably aren't quirky. Mine are. Okay, so I want to go through these 10. I hope I counted right. There may actually be 9 or maybe 11. I don't know. But I wrote down 10 things that I feel like that every director, I feel like these are 10 things that she knows. I feel like these are 10 things that I wish I would have known when I was aiming for director. And I feel like that if you can even nail down half of these, you will celebrate becoming a director. So I want you to come to these 10 ideas with an open mind and an open heart, because I know sometimes whenever I've grown the most, I've been kicking and screaming because mentally I wasn't ready to hear what would end up being the thing that grew me the most. And so there may be some things in these 10 that rub you the wrong way, things that you're not ready to hear. But if you'll open your heart and your mind to it, it just may be the turning point in your Cincy journey. Number 1, be credible. One of the things that holds someone back from director, from getting paid at title, from earning trips, it's just they aren't finding ways to be credible to the people that are looking at them, to the people that are looking to them, okay? Being credible is where it's at. What makes someone give your name as a reference to someone else? Well, you've at some point become credible in that person's mind, credible enough for them to take a risk and put their name behind yours. What makes your team member talk about your team? When they fall off of your team, like we all know that they might, when they cease from being a consultant and they get terminated and it comes time for them to rejoin a team, what makes them want to, without a doubt, come back to your team? Well, at some point during their Cincy journey, you became the credible Cincy consultant, the credible leader, okay? It's so important, you guys. Now, here's what I want you to know. There are so many millions of different ways to become credible to the people that look to you, your customers, your team members. I don't care if there's 2 people under you. It's important for you to become credible and earn their trust. Here are some ways, just real quick off the top of my head, that I'm going to give you. You guys could probably come up with even better ideas real fast, though. One way that I love to show my team, even as a superstar director right now, I love to show my team that I'm credible and that I deserve to be their leader by showing them the training that I'm constantly growing myself for their benefit. And I use that verbiage. I say, ooh, I'm reading this book. Snap a picture of the book. Oh, I'm reading this book. I'm so excited about all the different ways I'm learning to be a better leader for you guys. That's where it's at. What about when you are at a Cincy event, or you are at a team training or a retreat or a sprint or reunion, or wherever you are, even if you're having a conversation or watching a training or whatever it is that you're doing, wherever you are, do you let your team know that you're there so that you can learn how to be a better leader for them? I love doing that. I love sitting right in the middle of reunion and sending text to 5, 10, however many people you have time for, and saying to them, missing you, soaking up all the stuff so that I can come home and be a better leader for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is for real. This is legit. If you can do this, then every single person that looks at you will realize that you're in this for them, and you will build that credibility with them. Same thing with your customers. Just constantly be on the lookout for ways that you can prove to the people that are looking at you that you're credible. You're worth taking a risk. You're worth them referring you and putting their name behind yours. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, moving on. Number 2. This one's big. Okay, build beyond your zip code. I mentor people all over the planet. And one of the things that I feel like frustrates people more than anything is when they can't get a stronghold outside of their zip code. It will be a game-changing moment when you start building recruits out of your state. Get out of your state. Get beyond your region of the country. Move out. That will change your numbers. It will change everything. You need to make sure that you're constantly doing something to not just help you personally build customers and hostesses beyond your zip code, but also think of it in the mind of as a leader. You want to make sure that you're actively doing things to help your team grow beyond your zip code. There's a million different ways how to do this, but you can just get creative. Think like one of your customers, and I promise it will start coming to you, okay? So a referral special probably is the easiest way to do this. I know a lot of people use online marketing, boosting Facebook posts and stuff like that. None of that's ever worked for me. Most of it I've never even tried. I just honestly, I've built my business just like the old-fashioned way, and it's really worked for me. I've always gotten paid at title every single month of my entire Cincy journey. And so I like to say the old-fashioned way works, but you know, if you are super social media savvy and boosting and you know, doing different things, if that works for you, go for it. We talked about building using the referral special to build your own business outside of your zip code, but how do you get your team to do that? Okay, you've got to get your team building outside of their zip codes as well, right? Okay, so one of the things that I did early in my Cincy journey, but if you'll take just any map that you find, and if you will color in a state that you know your Cincy empire is not in, so I don't care if you're a director yet, I don't care if you have 4 people on your team or if you have 40. Okay, doesn't matter about size, doesn't matter about numbers. Get into the workstation, find out some states where you don't have any team members, highlight them, and then do a fun team incentive for the first person that can nail a new team member in that state. Okay, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes we want to get lazy and we want to communicate with our team over Facebook, and I'm telling you that's not going to probably work for you very well. If you really want to motivate and inspire your teams, then you need to work your communication like Kohl's does, through text. Or like, oh my gosh, I get like 15 texts a day from different restaurants and stores. Why do these corporations spend so much time and money texting all of their customers? Because it works. Number 3, delegate. Delegate, delegate, delegate. Time is money and money is time. You need to write down every single thing that you want to accomplish in your week. then you need to take a highlighter to it and highlight all the things that don't have to be done by you. Honey, you got to crawl in bed with your husband every night, and you probably need to be the one that, oh gosh, I don't know, takes your kid to school every morning, right? You can't delegate those things, or you shouldn't. But maybe you could send your new catalogs to the little old lady that lives across the street with some labels. Maybe she's newly retired and maybe she would love to put labels on your catalog for a couple of Scentsy bars. Maybe it would give you the freedom to not have to do some of those tasks, and it would free you up to be able to be the kind of team leader that you need to be or that you want to be, even as a star or even as a lead consultant. Does that make sense? There are only so many hours in the day. And if you can delegate some of these nitpicking little tasks like putting labels on, bars or stamping catalogs or, whatever it is, then that frees you up to become the communicator. And we'll talk about more things on this list of 10. We'll talk about more things that, you can't delegate or you wouldn't want to delegate. So delegating is key. It will save you from getting burned out. It will save your family from hating Scentsy. I've been there. Watch my YouTube videos. But I've almost burned out my family on Scentsy because I didn't get what I'm telling you. So learn from my mistakes here. Delegate. Okay, moving on. Don't cuss. If you want to be a director, don't cuss. And teach your team not to cuss. And by cussing, here's what I mean. Don't use the word try and hope. Those are my team cuss words. I don't let my team use the word try, and I do not let my team use the word hope. And there's probably a few others that I can't think of right now, and they will tell you, you can ask my team what our team cuss words are, and for 9 years, I've not let them use those words. And if they say the word hope, then I will get on that post and I will tell them to edit it. And I will tell them not to cuss on our page. And it's kind of funny, but I'm telling you, when you use the word try, when you use the word hope, mentally, it destroys every ounce of hustle in you. I mean, can you imagine how my husband would feel if I said, I'm really hoping that I'm really hoping to stay faithful to you. My goal is to try to stay faithful to you. That's not going to go over very well. And I'm telling you the truth, you need to get serious about your goals and help your team get serious. The next one is treat everyone as if they were already giving 100%. So what I mean by this is go into your conversations, go into your Facebook post, go into your team trainings, conference calls, Zooms, whatever it is you do, however you interact with your downline. I don't care if it's 1 or 14. I want you to treat every single one of them mentally, already be thinking they're giving 100%. And when you do that, even if in your heart you fight yourself on it because you kind of know that they're probably super duper lazy, and you know that they probably are, but if you go into it mentally thinking that they're giving 100%, it changes the way you speak. It changes your vibe to them. Next thing, read books. And I know that I just lost probably 90% of you guys watching. But here's the deal. If you had a college student in your living room right now talking to you, and they were doing pretty good and had a pretty promising degree waiting for them that was going to make them pretty successful in life, and their only hang up was that they didn't like to read, what would you tell them? I mean, really, what would you tell them? You tell them to get over it, right? You would tell them, too bad. Sorry, that's just part of it, right? You can't get an awesome degree without, reading those books, right? and you would probably have that college dropout conversation with them, right? Well, guess what? 6 figures awaits you. Director awaits you. An incentive trip awaits you. And just as promising as that scholarship, or college degree is to that college kid that's discouraged sitting on your couch for pretend, right? Just as promising as that is for them, I'm looking at you saying, don't be a college dropout. Don't let your lack of wanting to read a book hold you back from making 6 figures, or to hold you back from earning an incentive trip. It may be the very nuggets in that book that make the difference, right? Okay, so I want to challenge you to read. I'm reading a book right now that I really love. I don't know if any of you guys have read it. I have golly, I'm looking at my bookshelf right now. I have a bookshelf full of books and more on Amazon. And, I realized that books have been a really key, essential part of my Scentsy journey. And so I'm always on the hunt for the next book that's going to change me, the next book that's going to make me better. Entre Leader by Dave Ramsey is the book that I'm reading right now, and I absolutely love it. I do. I really love it a lot. I try to read one super type A book. Then I really try to read a super type B personality book. So type A is all of this, the hardcore learning stuff. And then the type B stuff maybe would be the book that makes me better. I just finished up that book, The Best Yes by Lisa Turkers. I think that's the right way to say it. Anyway, yeah. So that's kind of a type B book for me. But I realized to be well-rounded, I need a little bit of both. And so Entre Leader, I'm reading now. I super love it. I challenge you to read books that you feel like will grow you in the areas that you're not strong, and just force yourself to read it, just like that college student forces himself to read the book that his professor has given him to make the grade that he needs to make to be able to have the job that he wants to have to make the income that he wants to make, right? Okay, moving on. Don't discriminate. And I don't mean in your recruiting. I mean, don't discriminate as you mentor your downline. Don't only hone in on your first frontline, first generation, whatever. If I pulled my report right now for you and showed you my directors and star directors and even my superstar consultants, if I showed you who their original enrollers were, it'd blow your mind. It would blow your mind. My reports are full of people that are awesome, but they didn't start out as Laura's recruits. In fact, some of them started out 3 and 4 recruits under me. Thank God I didn't discriminate and only work with my first 3 generations, because I would have a pretty sucky paycheck by the end of the day if I only worked on the first 3. I do not treat anyone on my team worse just because they didn't click my join button. So don't discriminate. Number 7, connect with one new person under you on a non-Scentsy level and pursue it. I said pursue. That's kind of crazy because, yeah, I know that it's not spelled like that. Pursue. Pursue it. Okay, so here's what I mean. I mean, connect. Find what they're passionate about and be prepared. Be forewarned, it's probably not Scentsy. Okay? It probably isn't Scentsy at all. But every now and then, maybe once a month or something, tag them to something on Facebook like, oh my gosh, look at this farmhouse. I think this would be so cool. I'm so jelly that you get to restore a farmhouse. Or, oh my gosh, I know you love camping. I saw this and I thought of you in the store. You know what I'm saying? Snap a picture, text it to them, and tell them that this made you think of them. Okay? Quit trying to connect on Scentsy. It may be that they don't really want to connect with you about Scentsy. And you're not going to build a really strong sense of community with the people underneath you if you're always only trying to connect about Scentsy. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. I think it does. So remember, my challenge with that is connect with one new person under you a week, because it takes time for you to really remember the people. So if you have 9 people on your team, this may take 9 weeks, but I promise you at the end of that 9 weeks, you're probably going to know a lot about those people. You're probably going to know their husband's name, their kid's name, and you're going to know a lot more about them, because you are going to have built that repertoire with them about something that doesn't apply to their Scentsy journey. Super important, you guys. Okay, number 8, don't walk alone. What do I mean by don't walk alone? So this is something kind of, I don't know a lot of people I don't know anybody else that does this. I'm just going to say it like that. But I'm telling you, when I look at my Scentsy journey, I know without a shadow of a doubt that this has been incredibly valuable to my Scentsy experience and to so many others. And it's far more than just reaching director and making 6 figures and all those money things. It's bigger than that. But I don't walk my Scentsy journey alone. If I'm reading a book, if I see something in the book that speaks to me, I'm sending it to someone that I feel like it would speak to. If I'm going to a home party, I'm asking one of my downline to come with me. If I'm doing a festival, or if I have a booth in a city, then I'm calling someone that lives in that area and I'm like, hey, I'm setting up a booth, not too far from you. Want to come with me? It'll be fun. I can't afford to pay you, but you can get some fabulous experience, and hey, maybe you'll get your name out there a little bit, and it would be super fun to just hang out with you for the day. I do that every single time. Every festival that I do, I'm not alone. I'm inviting one of my downline to come with me. Every home party, I'm either going live or I'm inviting someone to come with me. If I'm making samples, I'm sending a picture to someone in my downline showing them, hey, trying this, what do you think? Do you think it's crappy? Do you think it's awesome? Bring them along on the journey. Most of the time, our teams don't want us to train them, to give them a 5-step process of how to do this or that. No. They don't want that from us. Most of the time, they just want us to do Scentsy with them. Whatever it is you're doing, bring them along. Make it very much about them, but involve them in whatever it is you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, you're watching a training, and maybe something that I say tonight will inspire you, and you'll think of someone, and you'll say to yourself, ooh, I could reach out to them and let them know that, I just learned something that I'll share with them this weekend. Send them a text. Say to them, oh my gosh, I just watched a training video. I got, a couple of ideas that I thought really would work. I can't wait to share them with you. Imagine what that will do for their heart. That also kind of goes with the credible part, right? You're becoming more credible in their eyes. So don't walk alone. If you're doing Scentsy, no matter what dynamic it is that you're doing it in, there is someone that could benefit from what you're doing. And don't be stingy with that. Don't be stingy. Okay, the last one. Oh, this one's kind of cool. And I've just recently, within the last, honestly, probably 3 days, this has really been on my heart. And so this is super fresh. But have you guys ever noticed that there are a lot of people that sign up under us, and they buy more when they were a customer than they buy after they sign up? It's like they were doing parties and they were placing orders on your website all the time, and then they sign up and it's like they terminate after 3 months because they had zeros for 3 months. And it's like, what happened? You were an amazing customer. You were a good hostess, and you sign up and you fall apart. Have you guys noticed that? Please tell me I'm not the only one. Okay, so here's what I'm just thinking out loud. This is a totally fresh new Laura brainstorm. I think that as leaders, no matter if you're a director or not, especially if you're not a director, I feel like that we need to treat our downline like customers a little bit, and make sure that they fall in love with the products. I really do feel like that when one of my customers becomes a consultant, I change in my mental, the way I mentally think about them. I think about giving them tips and ideas and programs and books to read and videos to watch, and I kind of feel like that maybe I am not, I'm missing it some, right? What if we as leaders could get our teams excited about the products again? I mean, just think about this, let it sink in. As a superstar director, I mean, honestly, I can buy anything in the catalog that I want and have it for personal use. Some of our essential and certified consultants can't. They've never put their hands on a cotton cleanup pad thing, whatever we call those things. They won't be able to buy the bathroom cleaner for 3 months. What about us as leaders, we as leaders, getting some of those products in their hands and having fun? And you know, like if I'm unboxing a Scentsy shipment, maybe not just unboxing it in front of my customers, maybe unbox it in front of my team. If I'm having a team meeting, one of my favorite things to do at my team meetings is, you know, we pass around stuff, we try things, we make samples together. There's hand soap in the bathroom and hand cream on the sink. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want them to experience, and there's a lot of times at my team trainings where people are like, oh my gosh, I haven't tried this yet. And I'm like, oh my God, it's been in the catalog for 6 months. What the heck? Where have you been? Hiding under a rock? You know, like, just use your free and half price items. But they don't. And so I just wonder if maybe we need to start treating a lot of our consultants under us as our very best customers. I think Angie Williams has a quote about this, and I really feel like that the reason that my downline bought more Scentsy when they were my customer is because maybe I was more effective at inspiring my customers to buy than I have been effective on trying to get my team to buy. That hurts. It stings, but it may be a place of growth that even I need to work on. So I'm sharing that. I'm just like having like this vulnerable moment with you guys because it's just something that makes my wheels turn, and I hope that it gets you thinking too. Maybe. So that's my 10 things. I hope that it was inspiring to you guys. I don't want you to overthink getting to director. I don't want you to overthink anything about Scentsy because it's truly a blessing. And when it stops being fun, then something's wrong. And so I want you guys to not compare yourself to each other, to me, don't compare yourself to the ideal or the idea in your head that you should be further along than where you are. Just enjoy where you are right now and make the most of it. I feel like I feel like that God sends us the people that we're supposed to have. And sometimes it's to teach us and to grow us. And so if you have a team full of really difficult people right now, then just know that I feel like that God's growing you and using those difficult people to shape you and mold you into the strongest you yet. So think of it like that. I hope that these 10 tips will stay with you in the next couple of months and even in the next year. Director is coming your way. I fully believe that it will. All right, I can't wait to hear your success stories. Thanks for listening to the 10 tips. I hope they work, and I hope you see great success using them. Love you guys. Bye.